I look like a guy who worked in the control room in Apollo 13. I look like the grouchiest male nurse. I look like the first guy to die in a dinosaur movie. I look like a former child star who is not currently a star. I look like a guy who knows more than a little bit about specialty cheeses. I look like a McDonald's manager who takes that job way too seriously. Here's my impersonation of that last guy. How do you know that they don't want fries with that, Jennifer? If you don't ask! So I used to be married. My wife, she had a splendid sense of humor, so I got her to help me with my jokes. What happened was I had this notebook right here, and I would write down ideas for jokes in it, and then she would come along later and read them and write letters to me in the margin on how to make them funnier. I'll just read you one. Okay, dear Darryl, this joke would be a lot funnier if you got a job. I look like a guy who got a DUI after a wine tasting tour. I saw a commercial for one of those dollars for gold places, you know, cash for gold. I still can't figure out who those stores are for. As far as I can tell, they're for people with a lot of gold kicking around but no money. And I always figured if you had a lot of gold, that meant you were doing okay financially. But if that's not the case, if you're currently sitting on a mountain of gold but you need some cash, here's my advice. Wait for your next paycheck and don't spend it all on gold. I look like the saddest way that Harry Potter could have grown up. My name's Darryl. My father named me Darryl after Darryl Sittler, the hockey player. Played for the Maple Leafs. Scored 6 goals in 1 game once. Plus my last name's already Orr, like Bobby Orr. So my career was laid out for me from birth. And instead of playing the good old hockey game, I became a cook, a stand-up comedian, and a jazz saxophonist. Yeah, and my father became an alcoholic. Sorry, Dad. Better luck next, son. Swing and a miss, as the hockey umpires like to say. My mom wanted to name me Michael. Michael, a saint's name, a hero's name. Michael sounds like a guy who would pull a Darryl from a burning building. And it's a fire that Darryl accidentally started when he was just taking out the recycling. Fire inspector's baffled. I look like a guy who talks to the bus driver about my own aspirations of becoming a bus driver. Yeah, I just have to take the course in January and then I'll be like you. I recently did a gig in a town called Swastika, Ontario. Yeah! That's not a joke! There's a town called Swastika, Ontario. It was called that before, during, and after World War II. And when I politely inquired to some of the citizens of Swastika, WTF Swastika? They were like, no, it's pronounced swastika. Swastika? Yeah, and it's a native term meaning when rivers meet. And I was like, you mean when 4 rivers curve at 90-degree angles and meet in the middle? Like when rivers meet like that? I also did a gig at a laser tag in Aurelia, Ontario, because my career's on fire. They had a performance space at the laser tag too. It wasn't like I was just chasing people around the arena telling them jokes while they zapped each other. But before I went to the laser tag, I went on the website, and on the website they had a list of frequently asked questions, an FAQ list. Because apparently they're getting a lot of questions over at the Aurelia laser tag. And a lot of them were normal, where are you located, but a couple of them jumped out at me. This is the first one that jumped out at me. Will the laser beams hurt? That was on the frequently asked questions list, everyone. Apparently, a large number of Aurelians are concerned that the Aurelia laser tag is using honest-to-goodness lasers. Genuine diamond-cutting lasers. 30 grade schoolers on a field trip enter the laser tag, but only one leaves. Another question on the FAQ list was, should I play laser tag if I'm pregnant or wearing a cast? Was that the exact question that people were asking? Should I play if I'm pregnant or wearing a cast? Were people like, hello, laser tag? Hi. Listen, I was at my doctor this morning and he told me something about my body, but I forgot what it was. It was either that it was with child or part of it's broken. In any event, may I please play laser tag? Also, will the laser beams hurt? Yeah, you can play laser tag if you're pregnant or wearing a cast. Sure. And lose! You'll be a sitting duck. All of the able-bodied men and barren women will be running circles around you. I look like a guy who would cry at a Mumford & Sons concert. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm standing on the street with a female friend of mine waiting for the bus. She's beautiful, she's gorgeous, she looks great too. She's got a dress on and heels. I basically look like this. That's not a punchline, don't fucking laugh at that. We're just talking, but this cab pulled up to a red light, and this guy stuck his head out the window, and he looked at me and he goes, "Hey, don't talk to her!" And I went, "Who?" And he goes, "You! Don't talk to her!" And then he goes, "Wait, you think you got a shot with her?" And then the cab drove away. And I was like, did my inner monologue just drive by in a taxi cab? So what, my ego is taking cabs around town now? It's not bad enough I hear it up here, I gotta hear it shouted from motor vehicles? And then the girl I was with goes, you know what we should have done? I said, what? She said, I should have flipped the guy off and then grabbed your head and made you motorboat me. And I was like, oh yeah, that would have made me feel better. A pity motorboating. Not a legitimate motorboating out of love or mutual sexual attraction, but a show motorboating, a showboating if you will, just for the benefit of some jerk in a cab. Nothing makes a man feel more like a man than first being ridiculed by a larger man and then surprised sexually assaulted by a stronger woman. My name's Darryl Orr. Thanks very much. You guys are great. Thank you.